All right, welcome everyone to Thursday Yin. My name is Alex. It's an absolute privilege to be here. I'm going to start today's class just sitting up nice and tall and getting into 10 deep breaths. So inhaling through the nose and exhaling all the way through the mouth. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, hold, special breath. And as you inhale, hold the breath, move your body around for 10. Grow nice and tall. 9. Move into the areas that you may feel discomfort. 6. Heart forward, heart back. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands out in front. Exhale, let it go. Good. And wherever you are, however you're seating, I want you to start nice and slowly today. Because again, yoga always begins with the foundations, right? The foundation is first the breath. We were already breathing before we started this practice. So really we're bringing the awareness of the breath to the practice. So starting forward, we're going to bring awareness of the body. So again, where we were sitting comfortably, allow ourselves to come down and then slowly start to bring your elbows down. Walk your hands out in front and then bring your elbows down. Walk your hands out in front, bring your elbows down, and just start to relax your head, your shoulders, and get to a position where it's almost a place where your elbows can't come down further. If there's any discomfort in the ankle, just move it around, right? There's no wrong or right with shifting your position. And we're just gonna spend a minute here, nice and easy, just taking our time, letting it go, allowing ourselves to come into a good way. I mean, that's the whole point. It's all about getting comfortable and relax, breathing and being. And then again, you relax your head, you relax your shoulders, you relax your back, you relax your hips. Everything comes down. And then we bring the breath into it. And you want to keep breathing through the mouth until you don't want to anymore. And it won't be you who doesn't want to, right? That's going to be a natural shift. That's going to be a natural change. And again, as you breathe deeply, the more deeply you breathe, the more energetic you become. And the reason that is because the prana comes through the body through the breath. Beautiful. Slowly coming up. That was a minute. Allow yourselves to come up. Bring the hands behind you. Switch the legs. Give them a little switcheroo. And again, let's come down in another minute and just relax here once again. Same thing. Try not to think too much. This time, left leg out in front. Again, just squaring our legs. Very simple posture. Just cross-legged position with forward folds. And we're just lightly stretching into ourselves. Now, as you do this, bring the consciousness of the breath to the practice. Because once you're breathing in all the way and breathing out all the way, you're starting to melt the congestion. Imagine each breath as a fireball, right? Or as a increased level of intensity of warmth. So you're going from level 7 hot to level 8 hot to level 9 hot. Each level of heat brings more melting sensation. And we talk about it almost as if we're blowing our noses, right? We're just getting rid of the congestion. And that's what involuntary contraction is. It's not a nice feeling, but if we don't use it, we lose it. So if we don't work it, it just builds up. And so we create space by making space in the body. Slowly coming up, bringing the hands behind you now. Soles of the feet to the floor. Start to drop one knee down at a time. Right? Let it flow, let it go. Left and right. And as we do this, just stretching it out, looking in the opposite direction. Looking in the opposite direction. Looking in the opposite direction. Right? And as we do this, we're really getting the sensations of what we're working at today. So we're going to work this whole line from the hip up through the heart, and then into the head. And right now we're getting all that stretch. So we're going from forward fold to backward bend. And that's our counter stretch. Good. For 10. Breathing and feeling. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. We're going to increase this stretch now. So we're going to come onto the left side. So just shifting to the left side. Again, I'll show you from a nice position. You're going to take that top leg and you're going to place it all the way over top of the knee. Perfect. Once you have it here, it's going to drape over top of the knee. So you're going to hold it like a baby with the right arm. And as you hold it like a baby with the right arm, this knee is going to make its way down towards this foot. So this is known as square pose. So again, as you can see, right in that little divot where my ankle is, that's where I'm putting it on my knee. So it's nice and comfortable. And then I'm slowly rolling it in. But we're going to play with it for the first minute. So again, we're going to spend a nice long time here in this position. And we're going to explore square pose. So you'll notice I'm just moving around. I'm supporting my knee because if I let this go, this is when the position can start to get really intense. So we don't want that just yet. We just want to move through our sit bones. Right? And so as you can see, I'm going to just switch hands. I'm going to hold with this hand. If I could sit down on my hip, right? I'm pressing down. I'm feeling the connections. I'm rolling it around forward and back. And again, 30 more seconds. The first minute, we're just getting comfortable. Every time we do a new yoga posture, we're always finding comfort. And comfort comes first because we can't be relaxed in our minds unless we're comfortable in our bodies. And so, of course, the posture is mostly physical. And so before we can free ourselves of the physical, we have to really engage the physical. Good, that's been about a minute. Fantastic. From here, we can start to get a little bit more comfortable. So finding that square pose. And you'll notice that now you can shift the hand off the knee and you can start to put some pressure on it. And so you can really see the space between my knee and my ankle. That's good. We want to slowly bring it down. Slowly bring it down. Curl your toes to protect your knee and just slowly start to bring that knee down towards the foot. Of course, it's not going to want to, which is why it's a very gentle journey today. Right? Gentle journey as we come down. So we're taking that elbow, we're just allowing it to drop down, pushing that hip slowly down so that the knee ends up stacking right where that arch is. So I'm not going to do it right now, even though I could. I'm going to do it nice and slow because I want to show you that it's a gentle journey. Right? It's a gentle journey. All I'm doing is rocking forward and back, and I'm using the weight of my upper body, my heart going forward, my heart going back to bring it. So that's our second minute. You're either going to stay here and relax, drop the head, and let the weight of your forearms do the work to get your foot down towards, or your knee down towards your foot. Other options, you can walk forward just like we did before and make the stretch even harder, but that's going to hurt a lot. So make sure you're working toward the knee going down, or you're walking it out in front and that knee is naturally coming down because you're stretching further. So now I'll show you my knee and my foot are connected now. Right? So that's okay for me. But notice how slowly I took to get there. I took almost a full 2 minutes and 30 seconds to get there. And so wherever we are now we want to find that stillness that the yin really works on. Stillness, spaciousness, and silence. So closing your eyes, go inside, breathe all the way in, breathe all the way out, and just feel. Really allow yourself to relax that hip. Because at some point in this practice, in the next 2 minutes, that hip is going to relax. But you got to stop bouncing out of it in order to feel that your body's going to release into it. So one of the ways I describe it is it's not about giving up, it's about giving in. Just surrender. And that is the key word. So yes, there's pain. Yes, there's discomfort. Imagine it as a strong sensation that you're able to breathe through. No different than taking a blow dryer to an iceberg, right? It's a huge piece of frozen water and it's there, but that little blow dryer, that breath we have, moment by moment, day by day, practice by practice, can melt the largest iceberg that we contain in our body. Good, 1 more minute here. Remember, if we don't use it, we can't use it. And if we don't use it, we lose it. So really think about that as you go in here. Why is there that discomfort in your hip? Why isn't the hip allowed to open up in this way? Right? You don't need to go all the way down. 30 more seconds, you got this. Breathing and being, but noticing where you came from and noticing where you are now. I bet it's very dramatic. That's it. You got 20 more seconds, doing fantastic. Breathing and being, feel it, balance it between the two hips for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly coming up. Beautiful. That was square pose, 5 minutes. Walk those hands behind you. Bring that sole of the foot back down to the floor. Good. Uncross it. Ooh, and shift it out left and right and feel. All right, very powerful. Very powerful. Right? We're starting with the hips in a very powerful way today. Why? We have Eric and Fran in class today, right? It's such a wonderful thing to have two experienced yin yogis, right? Again, yin is a beginning practice. There's no such thing as advanced yin, beginning yin, intermediate yin. It's all about the breath. And the duration is what makes those things beginning, intermediate, advanced. We can do square pose at the beginning level. We can do it at the advanced level. Why is today a little harder? Well, we started with it and we went right for 5 minutes. Now, if this was beginning or beginner class, we may save it till the end and we may do it for 3 minutes with doing a bunch of other things to help. But again, it's always nice to challenge. It's always nice to see what's possible when we have the consciousness. Can we extend it out through the conscientiousness of the body and be able to adapt and adjust accordingly? Beautiful. From here, let's move on to the right side now. Left goes over top. So again, I have the left leg now. I'm starting my timer. Good. Now from here, all you do is you drape the leg over top. So again, I'm working on getting that hip to the floor. I'm holding on to that leg to protect it. The first minute is you holding your knee and exploring. Forward and back, side to side, right? You're gonna get a whole lot of cricks and cracks just by doing this. But make sure to get that ankle up on that knee so you really feel the weight shifting, right? Because the more it goes this way, the more you're gonna be on the right side. This is more shoelace. We're gonna do that afterward. Some of you who know what shoelaces know that was a big smile. Because you gotta smile. Because if we don't laugh, we cry, right? And that's the whole point of the energy, right? The energy either comes out as tears or it comes out as laughter. It's really quite funny. Log pose, that's an interesting one, Fran. I think there's all sorts of different nomenclature for yoga postures. Again, this was taught in the Complete Guide to Yin as square, right? And so Again, I'm sure it's called log pose, maybe by Paul Grilly, or there's Sarah Power. She's a very predominant. I like to call this one double pigeon. That's another one I like to call it, right? Because it doesn't matter what it call, it hurts all the time. That's a great way of putting it, Fran. Thank you. And that's why we're starting with it today. Absolutely. So that's what it's all about, right? And then this strong sensation is what we call pain, right? We don't even call it pain because pain has a negative connotation to it. We want to call it strong sensation because we're actually freeing ourselves of the pain. We're fighting fire with fire in a way. But with yin, it's a very gentle fire. So now we're 2 minutes in. Let's start to really connect that knee with that ankle. And either we're resting here, relaxing our head, breathing, or we're coming forward, right? And further intensifying. And I'm just going to relax into it just to show, right? And eventually you can bring everything into alignment. Again, I just lift my head up for teaching. Again, a little bit easier to teach and to see you and to really just guide you along your journey. But you're opening up that hip in a very powerful way. And as Fran mentioned, this posture always hurts, right? And it's because it's a very powerful posture, right? The more power, right, the more complicated the pattern. And that's why we have to practice it. Because in order to get better pattern, right, just like with music, more harmony from our sound, from our instrument, which is ourselves, then we have to practice. And as we practice, through the practice, the power starts to permit from the pattern. It starts to evolve. It starts to develop. It starts to embody. Right? So here we are, really truly enjoying this gentle journey here in square. We got 1.5 minutes left to go. No, it's hard. But with each breath, you're enduring with gratitude. And that's really the main mental practice, right? The physical is the asana, right? The energetic is the breathing. We're all tuned into that. But the last part is the mental. How do you endure with gratitude? How do you relax when you have all this sensation? Well, that's also a practice, right? Over time, strong sensation isn't so strong. It just becomes something that is more constant or in the background, or it's an indicator that it's going to release. So again, it becomes an invited guest. It becomes something we actually enjoy experiencing. Because again, unfortunately, the more pain, the more gain, right? And that's just an unfortunate, colloquial saying, but it is true. Without effort, there's no reward. But when there's true reward, there's little effort, if any. And that's where it almost becomes bittersweet. Good, we got 10 seconds left. You've done it. Right? And that's why I do all the teachings, hopefully to give you some focus, some drishti, even if that's spiritual or mental. Good, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly coming up. Take all the time you need. Walk those hands behind you. Bring that foot to the floor. Flip it out in front. And windshield wipers side to side. Beautiful. So one of the things I really like talking about when it comes to naming postures is that it's completely arbitrary. Every teacher, every style, every form has its own name for things. And when I inquired about it, just if there was a sort of standardized, the true answer from the best people was no, right? You call it what you want to call it. And so it's really nice to borrow these beautiful imagery from different teachers and different books, right? It feels like that last posture square. It's actually more like a log because then your legs feel super heavy afterward. And it makes sense, right? And that's why we call it different things. I call things different things because of the direction or if the spine changes. So direction of the spine, if we're going from forward fold to backward bending, usually gets a new name. If we go from twist to side bending, it gets a new name. But if it's just an arm or a leg and the spine's in the same place, I don't really give it a new name. Maybe just extend it or give it a little prefix. Beautiful. Wonderful work. Great counterposing for the next. Good. We're going to bring those soles of the feet together. We're going to go into a classic. Again, something we can just enjoy and endure. We're going to do another 5 minutes. We're not going to think very much. We're going right into cobbler. As we go into cobbler, you can hook your cobbler. I like to do that variation. You can hold your feet, or again, stretch out with your arms and go further into more of a hinge. So whatever you choose to do, let it flow. 5 minutes. Here we go. Find that spacious awareness with the breath. Right? And that's the most important part. Again, I'm going to come up and down just because I'm teaching. But again, if I were you, I would be down, deep into it, imagining the crown of my head moving down toward my feet. And again, I'm going to spend that first moment, that first minute really bouncing and feeling. Again, we call this getting comfortable in the pose. Right? There's no use going into a pretend state of stillness, a pretend state of silence, a pretend state of spaciousness. There's nothing pretend about silence, stillness, and spaciousness. It's all right here, right now. In order to see it, we have to receive it. In order to receive it, we have to be it. So how do you be still in a world that is always moving? Right? Day becomes night, night becomes day. Planet spinning around the sun, sun spinning around the galaxy, galaxy in the universe. We've actually never known stillness. So how do we understand stillness? Well, I see it a lot like water in a pail. That stillness is anything but still. And that's the magic of its movement. That's why all movement is medicine. It's because this stillness is actually getting into motion or emotion with itself. Right? What is motion that is not emotion? Right? Where does one begin and the other end? And that's our journey into yin, our exploration as we go from the physical through the energetic, which is the emotional, and into the mental. We arrive at where we are, right? We arrive at the strong sensations and we move through them with this consciousness of yin, this consciousness of surrender, waving the white flag, not giving up, giving in, right? You're at the 3-minute marker. This is where you really start to feel it more in your lumbar spine. Your connective tissue is starting to relax, starting to let go, starting to let be. You're starting to feel a little bit longer, start to feel a little bit stronger. Right? And as you breathe, right, turning back to that deep breath, the more you breathe, the more you receive in every posture, right? Going from a state of practice to a state of experience, right? What is it that this posture is teaching you? What book could you write on this posture? Even if it was just a case study. Today, I was in cobbler and I experienced this. Today, I was in my body and I experienced this. Today, I listened, I noticed, I watched my mind thinking. Right? There's so many ways to introspect. There's so many ways to do what the yogis used to do. Pratyahara, turning the senses inward. Petroyama, exploring the mountain with him. Right? It's all about this dynamic stillness. And there's no better way to get it than through the yin, because it's really all about you. How peaceful can you be? The more peaceful you are, the more powerful you are. Right? Because peace is power. Right? Peace is a great power. Some would say peace is the greatest power. And really feel why. Well, you have to endure through all this comfort, which is not comfort. You have to endure through all this discomfort. We have to get through all this disconnection. We have to get through all this dis-ease. And so what do we find when we free ourselves of the dissonance? Right? What do we feel? We feel comfort. Right? We feel ease. We feel connection. Right? So all we have to do is free ourselves from the noise so that we can properly hear or assign the signal to ourselves. Yoga is the most selfish, selfless thing you can do on the planet. It's the most selfish thing because it's really all about you through you. And all you have to do is get out of your own way. And it's the most selfless thing because when you do this for yourself, it then gets shared with everyone and everything else. Beautiful. Slowly coming up. Take all the time you need. Bring the hands behind you. You're going to feel it. Nice 5-minute cobbler. And again, let's return back to windshield wiping our knees side to side. Notice the difference. How did it feel the last time you did it? Now how does it feel? And as we keep returning it, that sensation is going to get stronger and stronger because we're working it all the way through. Nose to toes, crown of the head, all the way to the tailbone. Right? There's no separation in our bodies. Not today, anyhow. And just moving, grooving, flowing, knowing, showing, breathing, being. Nice and easy. Good freestyle. Good flow. Looking left, looking right. Good. Always in opposite directions. Working that energy from the hips through the heart and up into the head. All right, beautiful. One last one to go. So we did square, then we did cobbler. Now we're gonna do the internal rotation. Everyone's favorite shoelace. So we're gonna do it a little bit of a different way. Okay, so take your right foot out in front and then take your left leg underneath. There's your shoelace. It's like tying a shoe, right? You take one on top of the other. Good, now from here, take both your feet and start to walk the knees one on top of each other. So the foot is going over top of the knee. And this is your first part for shoelace. Eventually, you'll be able to keep walking it and walking it and walking it. And then again, just like square pose, now you're getting that deep internal rotation. Again, it's gonna hurt like hell. It's supposed to. Can't have heaven without hell. Can't have hot without cold. Can't have up without down, right? So again, if it hurts, that's okay, right? Just back off a little bit. Remember, it's a long hold. It's a 5-minute hold. Right? We usually do shoe minutes, 3 minutes aside. Today we're doing 5. So again, really experience just that slight little change in duration and how that temporal presence will either make you feel really good or it'll be super challenging. So let's see how it goes. Stacking the knees, stacking the hips. Remember, the first minute is all about getting comfortable. So how do we get comfortable? Well, you start back here. Hands behind you, right? So again, you're working it through, opening up the spine, letting your legs do shoelace. And if this is as far as you can go, great. Level 2, grab hold of your knee and relax your head. That's level 2. Level 3, you come forward, hands out in front. Level 4, elbows to the ground. And then level 5, well, basically you just look like this girl. All the way down. Super flexible. All right? So whatever you choose to be, remember to receive, right? It's a 5-minute hold. And all you want to do is ground yourself, right? So the sun gives us light, which is essential, but there's something even more essential than light that the sun gives us, and that's gravity. And that's what we're feeling right now. It is the, unsung hero of every day. It's the most precious thing. We should wake up in every day and say, thank you, gravity, that we are all stuck here on the ground together. Because you could just imagine, if gravity wanted to lift its hold, imagine what would happen? Everything would float up. Everything. Literally everything would float up. And we'd have no way of coming back down. Because we don't know how to create anti-gravity, right? We only understand and experience gravity and aerodynamics and all these other associations that we get from animals and creatures, and that's where the yogis got it. Shoelace, this nature, right? I'm sure the name shoelace comes from a Western, right, understanding of watching someone do shoelaces and realizing, wow, this feels exactly like a shoelace being tied. I am tying myself like a shoelace. Okay, so now we call it shoelace. Again, what else could it be? Right? Well, it's internal rotation of the hips and it's a forward fold. Why don't we call it, cobra hiding in basket? It could be called that too, right? Regardless of what it is named, what's important is its consciousness. And the consciousness of this pose is an internal rotation in non-separation, right? And you're allowing all that energy, all that strong separation, everything that's leading you away from this, running away from this pose. Your mind is thinking about the next thing. Your breath is becoming short. Your body is fidgety, right? How do you find the stillness? How do you learn to endure with gratitude? How can you just keep going deeper and deeper in it? And by breathing, you're able to regulate the emotion. You're able to build resilience. You're able to build true inner strength. And all we've done is externally open the hips, super externally open the hips, and now internally open the hips. So we've been working with the hips, and we've been working on it on all three levels. And so now we're really working the right side. I can feel it from the hip, through the heart, into the head. We got 1 minute left. Just keep breathing, right? The deeper you breathe, the more you're going to create this permanent lasting change, because it's the breath that makes it comfortable, right? We know when someone's comfortable by the way they breathe. If someone walks up to you and goes, and you're like, you okay, man? They're like, yeah, I'm absolutely fine. Right? We will not believe them. There's nothing that a normal person would believe. We'd say, you're tired, you're out of breath. You can't fake it. You can't fake the breath. And so when we breathe nice and deeply, your body may be reacting, but if you keep breathing nice and deeply, guess what you're going to do? You're going to use it. And when you use it, you don't lose it, right? And so you're creating this ability to overcome yourself, to get out of your own way. Beautiful. That's 5 minutes. We will not delay. Come right up and right into windshield wiping the legs. Right? Don't even think about it. Just start right away. Ooh, and release it down. Right? Forward fold, backward bend. Forward fold, backward bend. Remember, we're making permanent, lasting change. That's the whole point of these classes. And we're always teaching what's within to who's in front. So the reason why we have this class is because of you, right? You are the reason, right? And for every reason, there's a season. So our yin changes, right? We look at different aspects, right? Yin is such a new and beautiful practice here in the West. It's been around for the last, 20 to 30, could even go back as long as 40, but again, still very new. And again, its popularity really grew out of the 90s, from Polly Zink into some of these major teachers like Bernie Clark, Paul Grilly, Sarah Powers, very popular yogis. And what does it mean to be popular? It just means it gets out to the masses. People know of it. They publish books, they do beautiful things to share the knowledge and experience with others. And that's a great gift. Like a candle, sharing your yoga consciousness, because you're not trying to prove anything. There's nothing to prove. There's no belief system necessary. Just being beautiful. All right, let's do the other side now. So again, left leg now on the floor. So make sure you make an L so you don't do both sides for 5 minutes. And now your right leg slides underneath. I'm just sliding my right leg underneath. And then once there, then this leg comes over top of the knee. And again, I don't want to nutcracker myself, so I just have to make a little adjustment. There we go. And then again, slowly coming forward. coming forward, right? And you find that beautiful position where you're able to bring everything internal. So the hips were used to going like this. Now they're going like this from center inward. My hips are turning inward, all right? 5 minutes on the clock. Here we go, level 1, right? You can stay back here and just relax here. Curling your spine, little tiny movements. Over time, remember, you have 5 full minutes. Spend all the time you need here before we transition to forearms onto knees, right? And that's it too. I remember the first time I was doing shoelace, this was my whole hold. I would just do this. I couldn't do it. It would kill. It would just hurt so bad, right? And I understand that feeling. That's why we're doing it. That's why we've been doing this posture throughout the last few weeks, right? Again, it's one of those things where once we start something, it's good to continue onward, right? Progressive practice, revisiting something, right? Reconnecting, rejuvenating. Good, and then if you want to go even further, right, out in front, straight arms, you can just do little tiny micro movements. Because again, always with the micro movement, that's the medicine. And if you wish, you can come all the way down onto your forearms. And again, like we said, until you're just all the way flat out, perfect shoelace. Again, takes time, takes effort, but the reward is great. Right? It's so beautiful to stretch that area, especially in our thighs, right? Because again, it's that area in our thighs that rarely gets worked, right? It's almost that fatty, cushiony area on the side part of the thigh. It's really hard to get in there. But again, by increasing circulation through the stretch, you are getting in there, right? You're not strengthening it right now, we're stretching it. So whatever is not serving you, so if there's fat is not your function, right? Fat is a function, but if you're doing lots of yoga and you're doing stretching and these pretzel-like movements in these unique places, the body will transport the fat to somewhere else or get rid of it completely, right? There's no use of the body storing it somewhere that you're using. It just doesn't work. Look at your hands. There's like zero fat on your hands. The reason why is because we use our hands. There's zero fat, below our feet. Why? Because we use our feet, right? There's little fat on our faces, right? Because we use our faces, right? So again, where you use it, you will not lose it, right? That's the key. Don't use it, definitely gonna lose it, right? So breathing and feeling. You got 3 more minutes to go. Increase circulation through respiration. Increase circulation through micro movement. Breathing in what the earth is breathing out. Right? Focus on the teachings, not the teacher. Right? Focus on yourself, not your classmates. Right? That's been the beautiful part of the online world. It's really allowed us to really develop our home practices. Really, honestly allowed us to create home studios. And this ability to take care of oneself. No different from the old days of the Yoga Hatha Padapika, where all you needed was a little tiny, tiny, tiny mud hut. Very tiny, very simple, just to practice your asana, free of distractions. What are distractions? Mosquito, saber-toothed tiger, falcon, stranger, whatever danger, whatever distraction, right? It's nice to have your own space. It's nice to have your own place. It's nice to have protection, right? Number 1 is safety. That's your foundation. Number 2, connection. Number 3, power to exercise that connection and that security. And if anyone is interested in chakra meditation, that's what we're going to be doing this week. On Sunday, we're going to be looking at the heart center, my favorite chakra. It's all about love, love, love. Right? Spoiler alert for those who don't know. Right? That heart chakra is all about love. It's probably the best chakra because it's the integration of it all. Right? You can't go higher, can't go lower than love. right? Love is the infinite. Abide in the infinite. Feel and heal. Oh, beautiful, everyone. And again, that was 5 minutes. Amazing job today. I give yourself all a pat on the back, but right now it's more important to windshield wiper our knees side to side and let it go. Wow. Whew. And I got a nice surge of energy on the left side, nice feeling, deep burn. Almost like fire being removed from my body. Right? Nice sensation. Nice sensorium. Right? And as we experience the sensation through perception, right, we're taking all this sensory information, eyes, ears, mouth, nose, touch, right? We're also getting a lot of motor generation. So depending how cold it is, depending how warm it is, depending what you're feeling, right? You're getting a whole bunch of motor generation that's very new, very different. And that's good for us, right? Variety is the spice of life. All right, fantastic. Let's make it a little easy on ourselves right now, okay? We did such a good job. We're gonna go into a 5-minute twist. Yes, we have enough time. Good, we're gonna go into a 5-minute twist. So let's lie down. I'm gonna give it to you easy today because you worked really hard. Okay, so let's roll on to our left side, come into a full fetal position. Get yourself nice and comfortable. Draw your knees up towards your chest, left hand on top of right knee, and then look to your right side. Don't do anything with the hand just yet. Just focus on your spine and just roll it out. Roll it out. All right, let's start the clock. Roll it out. So as I'm rolling it out, I'm rolling, I'm feeling. So the first part is bring your elbow to the floor. If you can't do that, you're just gonna keep rolling until you can get your elbow to the floor. Once the elbow is to the floor, stay here, enjoy this, right? Adjust your knees. Find the sweet spot. Some people here, if you've never done it before, take your left leg, cross it on top of your right, and just stay here like this, right? It's a totally almost different stretch than you may be used to if you've never crossed the leg. I like to just hold the bottom leg so it doesn't run away. And then again, I'm just guiding that elbow to the floor, looking over that shoulder. Again, getting a beautiful twist here. But if you like, you can go even deeper by extending the arm outward. And once you do that, oof, it's almost like you're reaching out to the corner of the room and your whole heart area is melting. And it's melting because your legs are all tied up onto one side, right? It's being able to really allow the hips to go left and about allowing the shoulders to go right. And again, the gaze follows the shoulders. And then it's all micro movements from here, everyone. So just like forward, back, side, side, twisting, breathing. Again, doing what you did before. Only this time, a little bit more grounding as we draw that energy from the hips comfortably up towards the heart. Right, giving yourself a little bit of a break because again, it has been quite challenging. Good, breathing here, feeling here. Breathe through that twist. Right? The more you twist, the more you're dissipating this energy from the hips. The more you're enlarging it, expanding it, feeling it run nose to toes, feeling it run the crown of the head down to your tailbone. Right? There's so many ways to understand it, from your knee to your solar plexus. However you want to feel it, what's important is that you're growing into it stronger, brighter, healthier. Right? Follow that breath and its ways with care. Right? And let it be born of love and compassion for all beings. But before we give love and compassion to anything or anyone else, we first have to learn how to give love and compassion to ourselves. And that's where we move from mindfulness practices, where we notice things, just being aware of them, into more yogic-based practice where we feel non-separate. Right? The good is the bad. The right is the wrong. Right? There is no right and wrong. It's just what we think it is. Good. Rolling onto left side. Relax. And just spend a minute here. Just lying on your side. And just let your spine just relax. And I love just lying here on my side after a big long twist. And doing deep breathing. Because then you can really move it around. You really start to feel the spaciousness in the body returning. Right? It's amazing how you felt before. It's amazing how you're going to feel afterward. Especially this practice. Again, like I said, a little bit more intense practice. But again, it's only because we're increasing duration. Right? That's the only way it's harder. Right? These are all, again, basic postures. In Yin, there's 26 basic postures. It's one of them. Again, but in this certain sequence with this certain duration, it does increase. And you will feel, what you are in healing with. That's really important. Sometimes we move, and sometimes the movements settle. I'm just doing little subtle movements, rolling around. But that's good. That's a nice minute. We're going to roll over onto the other side now. I'm going to put the timer on. We're going to do 5 on this side. So rolling over onto the right side now. Get nice and comfortable. And again, same thing as before. Stack the knees. Place the right hand on top of left. And then look over the shoulder. Bring that left elbow to the ground and twist and look. Good. This is it. This is a great position. Want to try something new? Right? Cross the bottom leg on top of the top leg. Right? You can hold that leg with the right hand. And then again, work that elbow down to the floor. Ooh. Got a little tighter on this side. See, not as easy to get my elbow to the ground. It'll get there. But again, left side definitely tighter. I can feel it all through here. And that's just an old injury. Right? And again, over time, just allowing it to soften, relax, getting rid of that involuntary control. Right? And allowing it to melt, soften. Good. Deep breath in. Deeper breath out. And again, I'm going to hold here with my elbow for a little while longer, but you can also underswing with your arm and do what you did on the other side, where you go into full twist. Right? Looking over left shoulder, reaching toward the left side. And again, allowing the legs with the bottom leg stacked on top of the top to be able to be stuck on that one side, which is good.
right? And it's always a little asymmetrical in the body, right? One side's a little bit more flexible than the other. That's okay, right? Again, over time, that's all going to be, balanced out. And as we spend time, as we spend duration, which we call practice, which is important, right? When we have a practice, we're accountable to that practice. Right? If we don't show up, right, we're not really showing up for ourselves. That's the nature of yoga. The yoga is here for you. The yoga is here for me. I do yoga for myself. It's a great honor to share it with everyone, but that's because I'm a natural teacher, and it was a natural thing to do. But if I could never teach yoga, I would still do yoga. So it's not the teaching that excites me, it's the doing. Because we're not doing yoga, it's like music. We don't do music, we play music. Same way we play yoga. And I love playing yoga. Because the play of yoga brings the peace, brings the power, brings the pattern in which we call the practice. This is all about liberation, right? We're liberating the old, right? Liberating the past into the present, so that the future can be more presence of your present. You can fill it with more presence because there's nothing dragging you. You're not carrying these memories from the past anymore. You're not carrying them in your body, right? They're no longer have power over you. And that's what the practice does over time. It takes that power away from the past, turns it present. And then as we breathe and be, the more time we spend breathing and being and stretching, the more we're capable of being and breathing ourselves at any moment, at every moment, right? We're with ourselves all the time. So again, it's one of those things where we do yoga for ourselves. That's why I said it's the most selfish thing you can do. You're spending a whole hour just literally stretching, right? But what are we stretching? We're stretching the mind. That's very important. We're stretching the breath. That's very important. We're stretching the body. That's very important. So stretching, right, what doctors call exercise, is absolutely important for healing. Absolutely 10,000%. It's very rare nowadays to find a medical professional that doesn't believe in exercise. Beautiful. Allow yourself to roll back onto your right side and just relax here. Full minute. Just lying here on your side. You'll feel it. Oof. Right? It's almost like everything's lining up. Everything's coming back to center. Everything's coming back to you. Right? You came to practice. Here's the power, baby. Right? This is what we want. This is what we're here for. All right, fantastic. Again, just moving around a little bit left and right. Stay in your fetal position for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Lying on our backs. Beautiful. A few tailbone tilts. Nice and easy. Tailbone tilt. What time is it? Time to go. All right. Tailbone tilt. Tailbone tilt. And tailbone tilt. Let's go right into Shavasana now. Relax our body. Relax our breath. Relax our being. 3 B's. Body, being, breath. Just relax everything. Close your eyes, go inside. Deep breath in, exhale, let it go. Okay, let's do that 2 more times. Deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. And 1 more. Good. Relax your head side to side. Right? Just be. Almost as if you're in a beautiful dream. Right? That's what yoga becomes. It becomes a beautiful dream. Remember, always practice. Go into your Shavasana, everything becomes still. Everything becomes spacious. Everything becomes silent. Because everything is still. Everything is spacious. And everything is silent. All good, all bad is still spacious and silent. All right, all wrong is good, spacious, and silent. Right? You're feeling it. Right? The subjective experience, to experience anything in this world, requires a little stillness, a little spaciousness, and a little silence. In order to hear, we have to be heard. In order to learn, we have to know. We have to hear, we have to listen. So we're communicating with ourselves right now. Shavasana is all about lying down and then checking in with what is. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to breathe. You don't have to be. You don't even have a body. Right? Some people go right into deep sleep. That's great. Some people linger in the sort of vijnana maya kosha, which is the dream or imagination or creativity. That's fine. Right? But whatever it is you're doing, you're not doing. You're just noticing, right? Like mindfulness. You're just being aware of what is, rather than what could be or what should be, or where you are going in the next moment. Right? You're in this moment. Just be here. Because if you can't be here, you're not really going to be there. So why trade this for that? Remembering, if you're not ready to end class, you don't have to, right? This can develop into an experience of meditation very profoundly. As we lie in Shavasana, we can go beyond. Right? Gone, beyond, gone. Gate, paragate. Right? This ability to go beyond ourself. Just feel what it's like to experience samadhi, right? Absorption. And you just feel it. It's this heaviness. It's just pushing us down until this lightness starts to grow, and it's almost like we're floating. And we have this feeling of being whole. And it's such a beautiful feeling. We are connected. Beautiful. Relaxing your head side to side. Twinkle the fingers like stars. Roll it out through the heels of the toes. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Arms up over your head. Stretch back, reach up. Oh, tailbone tilts. Feel that beautiful tilt in the tailbone as you press the lumbar down for 10. Right, really waking up the body from the base of the spine. 9. And those beautiful tailbone tilts. 8. 7. 6. Push that lumbar down. Good. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Beautiful. Whatever side you choose to prefer. Let's come up into a comfortable seated position with helping hands. Wonderful. Yay. And then once you're here, bring your hands together, create lots of good energy. Lots of good energy. You warm up. Warm up. Right? We can get cold. We can also get warm. Feel a little faster, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let it open up. Right, and the important part is feeling the healing, right? That's what we're here to do. Because once we can feel, then we can know, right? We can't know something unless we can feel it, right? And we can know something that there is no feeling attached to, right? We can overcome the need for the feeling. But it's always important to get back to baseline because everything that feels is alive. That's for sure. Right? So we shouldn't be afraid of feeling, right? Feeling allows us to be alive to our living and awake to our waking. So we're going to channel this feeling with the mantra Om. We're going to slowly bring the palms together as we close our practice. Deep breath in. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Peace, peace, peace. In your hearts, in your lives, and everything that you see, are, and be. The divine in me sees and shares the divine in you. In love, with love, through love. Thank you everyone for coming out today. Namaste. Yay! Phenomenal class, right?